Okay, so I recently dropped a video. It was like the meta of Rust, a new base design, and there was a bunch of people commenting saying there were issues and all of this stuff, and about bunkers and these peak down things. So I'm gonna build a completely new base today, and I think it addresses all of those ideas, and I'm gonna talk about some of them as I build through this base. So I'm gonna try and go as quick as I can, and let's get right into it. So we're going to start off relatively the same as we did in the last video, where we have the TC like this, which we can armor, and grab your TC and place it in the center here, and then when you log off you can put the reinforced glass. Except this time we're going to build 3 squares out, like this, and then we're going to build a triangle, and we're going to build a triangle, and we're going to build a triangle, and then we're going to build 2 more higher foundations on each of these far triangles. Sort of like this. So now we have this kind of little thing going on. And then for the center area, you can place your triangles to fill in. Just perfect as it is. Now, we're going to add walls on each of the squares. Like this. And then these walls, so these like outer triangles, those are just going to be honeycomb for now. That's it. So what we're going to do is we're going to armor these walls. And I'm going to sheet metal these. This as well. You can armor these foundations if you want. I'm going to sheet metal them for now. So that now everything's upgraded. And then this honeycomb I'm going to upgrade as well to sheet metal. This is kind of the core of the base. We want this to be as strong as possible. And then let's add our honeycomb. So now we have this. And we can upgrade these foundations here as well. So, now, if you can't tell already, these are going to be the 3 separate bunkers. All we have to do from here is just add our half-wall honeycomb. And then you can ceiling it. And make sure your half walls are facing the correct way. Sort of like this. And now we're at this step. From here, I'm going to go back to just building a stone so you can see exactly what I'm upgrading. We're going to add our ceilings. And I'm going to go down and show you that this is a bunker. So to do this, you just place your half wall and this, and it breaks. And then it'll work the same for all 3 bunkers. And these ceilings should be armored. Now, find the room that is the TC. So this is the TC bunker. And build your center section like this. Except leave the ceiling open, so then, because we're going to go up to another floor from there. And then we're going to take foundations and we're going to go and we're going to put 2 squares and a triangle all the way around. Like this. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. And then we're going to add a triangle pointing out on all 3 ends. So now we have this. And these are going to be our 3 entrances to the base. But before we do that, we're going to keep building up the next floor. So what we're going to do is take your walls, and we're going to come around just like this. All the way around the center of the base. So we have this kind of core section. And we're going to open up 3 walls so we can jump in a second. And I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. Basically, each one of these triangles on the edge out of the 3 are going to be doors. So you can add door frames and then a window to see through. And then we're going to make one of these a loot room, like this. So sort of like a depot drop-off room. And you could throw in like an oil refinery as well if you want to. That's also an option. I don't know why the box is not rotating. There we go. You could put an oil refinery or just not do a loot room, but I'm going to do loot rooms. And then you can ceiling this and do that. And then grab yourself some sheet metal doors. And the reinforced glass as well. It's going to be really important in this base. Grab it and then put that there. And then this one is not going to be a window, but it's going to be the way up. And you can use you could put a shelf if you want, like a half wall. But if you don't want to do a half wall, we can do like structures that are big enough to get up. You could do furnaces. You could do a research bench like that, so it's just like this easy sort of jump. And then we're going to wall this section. Just like this. And then this here is going to be how we get in. And we're going to repeat that same process really quickly for every single side. So it's going to be the doors and the window. And then you could see that on this side I did the jump up over there. So it's going to be here this time. And I'm not going to fill in the loo room every single time, but that's where the loo room is going to be. And we'll do the same thing on this side. So you can see we have a jump up there, and now the jump up's going to be here. Do this. Your ceilings, and then come around with your walls. All the way. So now we're sort of at this. And then, once again, we'll open our walls up where we want the entrance into the main section to be. And then this triangle you can close off with honeycomb, and same thing with this one. And do that on both the sides. Or all three sides. And you could just ceiling these off. Just like that. Now we're looking like this. And then we're going to add door frames, because the reason we did these the walls so far away like this is because we want as many garage doors as possible before people can enter. So that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4 before we get to this main ring. And you can repeat that on all sides as well. And then B1 at the loot room as well, which I'll show you once I get to the side where I built it. Which is here. Here, here, here. We'll add our doors. And then on this side you can have your loot room secured. And then we can go over really quickly. This is an optional step, but I'm going to show you quickly where, furnaces can really go anywhere in the base, but how would I put them anywhere? I just have them on the sides like this of all of these squares. You could replace these with electric furnaces as well if you rather have electric furnaces than normal furnaces. It depends. That's on all the sides, and then all we're going to do from here is just add our ceilings around the whole base. Just like this. And then we're going to do the same thing for this intersection, except the main area. And then you can do this. So now we're on to the next floor. But before we begin to do that, we're going to come to where each of the 2 sheet metal walls are on each side and add 3 more triangles. And this is going to be even more honeycomb. And you can come all the way up on both sides for this. Or all 3 sides. Come up both floors. That's what I mean. And then the last side. Here. And now we have this, and then finally, you can come here and bring your doorway honeycomb triangle up. And then run around quickly and add our doors on these entrances, because I haven't done that yet. And like I said earlier, if you want, you could do an oil refinery in here. You could do, a bedroom, whatever. It doesn't really matter. That's not important. So now we're looking like this pretty much, except this wall I just didn't place. So the first step of this next floor is upgrade all of these inner floors to sheet metal. It's very important. Now, all of those are upgraded to sheet metal. And this is where the base is going to get a little interesting, because if you want a huge clan base, I mean like 3-4 more stories, and you want to do this crazy tall looking thing, you can. That's totally an option. I'm not doing that. I'm not building 4 more stories with 1 billion more loot rooms. I don't need to do that. I don't want to do that. That would be a totally different thing, and I would change up the design. It's not meant to be that big of a base. It's not meant to be that way. So just keep that in mind as I continue on the next section of the base, because we're gonna go right into the outer peaks. We're not doing all of that. And the outer peaks in this base are extremely easy to build, and they look really nice. So the first thing we're gonna do is on the 3 stone sections, add a triangle that goes out, just like that. And then on these sections, the squares, you have 4 of them. You can go and add a triangle, and then 2 triangles pointing towards them. And repeat that on all 4 sections. Just like this. And then we're going to take our door frames and place them on the right side to make sure the door is going to swing out the correct way. Just like this. And then every section that there's not a door, we'll add a window. And go all the way around doing that. And now we're like this. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add frames on the border of the metal and the stone. All the way around. Awesome. And then the next step, this should be a half wall as well. You can fit one in if you just put the ceiling, you could put the half wall like that, because that's going to be basically the next way up. And for this next section, we're going to go a frame on each of the triangles, and then windows. Like this, and then you can ceiling this section off basically, and this inner area can be sheet metal. Not the wall. That was an accident. The ceiling. You don't really need the wall to be sheet metal, and then you can just fill in your ceilings basically for the rest of the section. And then after that, we'll place our embrasures on our sheet metal doors, and we'll continue moving on to the last floor of the base. And that's the ceilings done. Now let's come to the inside so you can see what it looks like. We can add our doors. Like this. Perfect. And then grab a bunch of vertical embrasures and sheet metal doors as well. Not horizontal. And then just place those on the outside of the windows, going all the way around. Just like this. And then make sure your doors, when you're placing them, as always, swing out to the right. And if they don't, then you definitely did something wrong, because people can easily squeeze through into this floor. You do not want. Okay, now, this is what the base looks like so far. And then after, we're going to come up, and we're going to add another frame. Looks like this. Throw our door on, and we're gonna have a door here. We're gonna have a door here. And we're gonna have a door here. And for this section, it's gonna be slightly different than the floor below. We're gonna place a wall here, and a wall here, and sheet metal those walls. Because if you don't, then they'll be able to saw slide through them, which will make sense in a second. And then add your other walls here, and then you can do lockers or beds, depending. It would be slightly different if you were putting a bunch of beds here, but you can put lockers in these, and then sealing it, and then do this with more of the strong reinforced glass, which is right here. And you can do this. And then another garage door to secure the section off. And you can repeat that on all the different sides. And beds you could just put on the floor here if you want beds as well. Make sure the locker's all the way back so you're able to place the floor. Like this. And come over here and then do the last section. Like this and like this. The door. If you want to do beds as well, you can come find your beds. Place them like this. And then another one like this. And you can still get your windows fine. And now this section's completed. And then the last and final thing we're going to do is get some roofs and go all the way around just on the edge of the base. On this section, don't go all the way out, just stop halfway. And now the base is fully roofed up. And then just to clarify, we'll come into one of these doors. And if you want to have the other loot room here, you can loot room that, and then another way up, say you want like level 1 workbench. You can grab that and just do this. Or you can do the half full. I mean, whatever works for you. So we still have a bit of things to do. We're going to place our frames all in here. And then garage door the entire section of the space. All the way around. Just like this. And then we're going to sheet metal all of this stone. This section you can armor if you'd like. That's optional, of course. Now we have this all sheet metal and secured. You can armor the ceiling, and then this center area you can sheet metal as well. Just like this. And then you can grab your benches. And don't forget small boxes always under the benches. You could put a box here instead if you want, if you don't care about having a tier 2 and a tier 3. Like this. And then your sleeping bags as well. Which is... I cannot find them here. And you can grab some sleeping bags and just place them on any of these tiles. Now, for the last thing to show in the base, it's the bunker section. Okay, and then finally, the last thing we're going to do is place a bag. And then as many boxes as you can fit. You can 100% fit 2 at least. And then you can fit some small boxes. And this will be like the main loot that you have like safe and secured at the end of the night. And then to close it off, this is armored. All you have to do is here and here, and then break this. Let me show you from the outside. Make sure you have a bag on the inside or you won't be able to fix it. So then it's an armored death trap, basically. And you fall down there. And you repeat that same thing on the other side. The bag, the boxes. I'm just going to quickly do. And then you can close it up in the same manner. And now you have the bunker on this section as well. So this is a triple bunker base. And you can repeat the same thing on TC. Boxes, have your bag, and do the same type of bunker thing. Like so. Armor this, break it, and then boom. Your bunker base is completed. Now, things to keep in mind. We did not build this base high. Like you could add 3-4 more stories and it'd be exactly the same. Where if you want a full section of bunker of beds, or you want 1 billion more boxes or electricity or whatever, that's an option. Or you want to have vending machines for trades, you could do that. I did not do that because I don't want this to be a huge, ginormous base. It's about the idea. the concept of we're not doing these little ramp shooting floor things, because every time I see them, it always works against the base, and it makes it difficult to defend and a pain. I just wanted this to be a extremely solid base to defend if you're getting offline rated, because it's 99% of the time you're getting offline rated. And to go through this, it's going to be extremely expensive. First off, we have 1, 2. If you want to get to all the loot rooms and the TC, you have 1, 2 sheet metal doors, 1, 2, 3, 4 garage doors just to get to this roundabout. You have to go through like 10, 15 garage doors to get through all of this and fall down. You have to go through an armored floor 3 times to get to the bunker if you want to get to the TC, which is extremely expensive. And even if you go straight down, you get TC, but none of the loot rooms. And if you go top down, you still have to go through 1, 2, 3 garage doors, and then 4 garage doors, and then you have to still go through all of these, and you still have to go through all of this to get through 3 more bunkers. So no matter what way you go, even if it's just blowing right through the wall here, there's still that. There's still this. And you're only here. You still have all of this to get through, and it's still the bunker. It's not cheap. It's going to be extremely expensive either way, especially if you've armored that foundation, which you could still do in here, like that. If you're worried about that, the wall being too inexpensive, that's 4, that's 16, and then if you're bunkering it, it's secured. Don't forget, plus, that's 1 loot room they got to, out of the 3 technically. So it's almost impossible to get all the loot if you're offline rating unless you have like a ton of boom, a ton. And that's not counting for turrets you can add and traps, and it's confusing. I've never seen this base design before. So I hope that helps with people saying it's not secure enough, this and that, the bunkers, and you need the shooting, all of that stuff. This is extraordinarily different, and I hope that this is going to make everyone happy, and you guys will see that this is like a solid base. If you still have issues with it, or you have any suggestions, or you want to see me do something else with this, or you think it could actually be a new meta, then let me know, because I'm interested and I want to build this base. That's how good I think it is, and I think it's really effective. And the last thing I actually almost forgot to do, upkeep. It's not bad. I didn't build that many floors. 99 high qual, 8,000 metal frags, 14,000 stone, and then resources needed here on the right, 350 high qual, 12,000 metal frags, 55,000 stone, and 13,000 wood. Not bad at all. So that's the video, that's the base. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.